What is going on, guys? Money Webby here, back again on Tuesday. We got 4 games tonight to break down, and I got 6 of my favorite plays on the slate. My money 6. So before we get going, drop a like in the video if you're enjoying the content and ready to win some money here tonight and have a great night. Feeling very good about the plays currently. Last night, up and down night with the plays. We had a few really good plays value-wise, and Jay Crowder and Royce O'Neal both on the Jazz. But they both just kind of stepped up. O'Neal gave us a double-double, 11 points, I think 10 rebounds or 11 rebounds. He did his thing. Jay Crowder caught fire, which I was hoping for, and he scored more points than he had the whole entire series pretty much. Donovan Mitchell stepped up in the fourth quarter. The one kind of disappointing thing to me was that Blake Griffin, he fouled out in that game pretty like a good amount of minutes. I think there was maybe like 6-7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They were down a good amount at that point, but still I think Blake Griffin would have kind of tried to lead a comeback a little bit and would have got a decent amount more DraftKings points. So that sucked. He was playing really well actually in that game too, but the foul trouble and obviously his bum knee kind of held him back a little bit more. But all in all, a decent night. Hopefully we can have more solid night across the whole entire plays. Giannis going off kind of hurt James Harden as well. I didn't expect Giannis to go off as much as he did, especially in a blowout, but he was the reason pretty much it was a blowout because he was dominating and getting a ton of foul calls, got to the line a ton. So let's get right into it. First guy up, I'm going to go with Joel Embiid at 10,000 here. Going against Brooklyn, finally showed off his humongous upside in this match. I mean, he was doing it game one, even though he was struggling with his shot. He still put up 56 DraftKings points, but that line last game was exactly what I was expecting, like a good amount of like every game in this series, like a 31, 16, 7, 6 blocks. Maybe not as many blocks, but the Nets have some undersized kind of players driving to the hoop a good amount of times, like Caris LeVert's a little undersized. Joe Harris a little bit undersized against Embiid. I mean, everyone's kind of undersized against Embiid, but the Nets do play a good amount of small ball. So Embiid here again, he's probable for this game. He's looking more healthy. I think he's going to go over 60 DraftKings points, maybe over 70 again here in this game. So pretty plain and simple, the Nets suck against centers, especially centers like Joel Embiid. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my first guy. I'm going to go with Paul George, finally showing some signs of life in this series last game. Even though they lost, he played pretty damn well. I mean, he was getting it going in the first half. Then he picked up 3 fouls early in the second quarter, so he sat down there. In the second half, was struggling in the third quarter, but towards the end of the third, started to get it going, hit a big 3. And then the fourth quarter, he was hitting some shots, just that they were down so much, it wasn't really like they just didn't have enough in the tank to kind of get it back. And Russell Westbrook was extremely struggling with the shot yet again. So if Westbrook struggles again with the shot, I think he's going to take a backseat to Paul George and try to be like the kind of the more of the like the second, third option in the offense. Just kind of limit himself to a driving role. Hopefully he does that if they want any chance of winning if Russell Westbrook is missing his shots. So Paul George here, he looked a lot more healthy, I would say, towards that game, in that game as well. So he had 59 DraftKings points. I think he can go over 50 again here. Had one of his kind of prototypical lines that he had in the regular season with 32, 10, and 6. Block, a steal. Think he can have another one of those. Over 30 points. A good amount of rebounds, some assists. Maybe a few more steals, hopefully. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my second guy. Then I'm going to go with CJ McCollum. This game should be one of the higher scoring, more competitive games of the night. And McCollum playing a very good series, 44, 43, and 52 DraftKings points the last 3 games. It's always been a good matchup for him. The Thunder don't really have a shooting guard that plays great defense. Ferguson, not a great defender. Paul George can match up with him, but not always going to match up with him. And Paul George did go on Damian Lillard a good amount towards the end of the game. So the matchup isn't always going to be there to defend CJ McCollum. I think he's always going to get his in this matchup. The only kind of chance I think that Thunder have of winning this game is if they can lock down Damian Lillard, not let him get going from 3. There was too many times in the third quarter where they were giving him clean looks off the pick and roll. So if they can kind of limit that, I think that's the only chance of winning this game. And CJ McCollum is just going to get his in this matchup. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my third guy. Then I'm going to go with Caris LeVert. here at 5,900 going against Philly. Finally saw an uptick in minutes. I was hoping for it all series long. The Nets really didn't have that third or second scoring option to step up and really contest with the Philadelphia 76ers offensively. But finally, the last two games, LeVert has been able to do that with 42 and 44 DraftKings points, 25, 26 points, shooting very well from the field. I think that's going to continue again in this matchup. He has been matched up with like JJ Redick a decent amount, who just doesn't have the ability to defend very well. So I think Caris LeVert, another great spot for him here in this game. If it stays competitive, I can honestly see him going over 35 to 40 DraftKings points again. Just seeing how many minutes he played. He played 42 minutes. That's crazy for a guy that's as active on the court as he is. So really good upside here, and his price didn't even go up that much at 5,900. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my fourth guy. I'm going to go with some value now, and Torrey Craig here at 3,400. He's looked extremely good in this series whenever he's been given the opportunity. And finally, last game, got some more minutes, got put in the starting lineup, and he got 37 minutes. Crazy stuff there. His shot looked wetter than ever with 18 points, 5 for 7 from 3, 8 rebounds. He has been pretty good rebounding in this series when he's played. I mean, he had 6 rebounds in 14 minutes and 4 rebounds in 11 minutes. So he's been pretty active on the glass. And 3,400 here. Going back home, like I've always been preaching, these role players typically step up more at home, even though he did it on the road the last 2 games. I think that they're going to leave Torrey Craig open. I mean, there's not much. You can't defend everyone on the court for the Nuggets. They have a lot of guys that can shoot from 3. It's not like they can defend Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, and Torrey Craig at the same time. One of those guys is probably going to break free, and I think they would rather have Torrey Craig try to get hot over a guy like Jamal Murray. So I'm assuming he's going to get some clean looks. The Joker's going to find him a good amount here, and he's going to have another solid game with some good value. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my 5th guy. Then I'm going to go with Jared Dudley. He actually was playing really well last game before he got ejected. He got promoted to the starting lineup. He had 8 points, 5 assists, 1 block, 1 steal. Good for 20 DraftKings points in 20 minutes. And that was kind of early in the third quarter, I want to say. If that game played out with Dudley in it, the whole entire, like the rest of the game, I think he would have got probably closer to 30 minutes, honestly. He was doing a really good job on Ben Simmons defensively again. So I could see him getting around 30 minutes again here if it stays close. Stepping up a little bit more offensively again. I mean, he's going to be given some opportunities just with him being on the court so much. And if he's hitting shots, he can be a really big factor for the Nets in this game. So at 3,300, good value, decent upside, and I think he can just give us like around 20 DraftKings points, 25 DraftKings points, hopefully again here. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my final guy. So good amount of money left over. You got CJ McCollum, Caris LeVert, Paul George, Jared Dudley, Joel Embiid, and Torrey Craig to round it off. So go ahead and drop a like in the video if you did get anything out of value in it, enjoyed it, all that good stuff. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can comment any questions you have down below. And yeah, so good luck here tonight on the slate, and we'll see you back here again next time.